Hello, hello, this is Pattyjo coming to you after the bridge collapsed. Yes, I'm okay. I did a little short video on some of the things that have happened. I'm not going to do any kind of videos on the search and rescue or recoveries because I know what that entails. That would have been something I would have been doing, and I'm going to leave that to my old co-workers to handle. Actually, I heard though I didn't want to, the tones going down for that. They called it a car in the water, so I'm sure they did not think to send a ton of people until some poor sucker shows up. So the medic unit that they sent would have been mine. It was my old medic unit, Medic 9. I saw Medic 5 on there, so hi to all you guys too. There are just hundreds of people out there doing that hard work. So cold in the morning. I will have to say, probably one of the first things I would do besides get the flotation devices that are required would be to put my gear on, not because I was such a huge help, because I was more medical than anything else, but because it was cold and gear is warm. All right, so enough of me reminiscing. I am okay. The worst, most inconvenient thing for me is I have to find a new way to get to and from work because they have indeed closed the Beltway right by my house because I am right on top of this mess. So that has, and plus a couple of days of work, have kept me from doing videos, but here we are. We're going to pick up where we left off. Making fun of Darrell. In fact, I didn't even go past this break here. Look, they do a little break. Let's find out where we are. There's the flag. There she is, there she is. Let's go here, that will make it bigger. Are you okay, Harley? Come on. Harley's been very anxious with me working so much. She's been very anxious. Huh. Are you anxious? Are you anxious? Oh, such a good girl. I'm going to have to brush your floofs. Okay. Let's see what we got here.
That was provided to me at the conclusion. It was on a large type drive, and then I provided that to Mike Nyman and Zach Tremaine, who then provided that.
Okay, let's go back because this might be important.
Walked around as well with my clerk, and then we all were positioned in state for the record, and I also had Madam Clerk take some minutes. The court arrived at 11:44.
So you're talking about the seeing the car, seeing
the state arrived.
SUV.
The defendant arrived shortly thereafter. The parties were each given an opportunity to do a walk around before the jury came in. The defendant did that, and then I walked around as well with my clerk, and then we all were positioned in various locations within the garage. The belly chains and handcuffs were removed from Mr. Brooks. He did not have leg restraints on that I could see. And so when the jury was brought in, he was not in any of that. And then I instructed the jurors at that point, our civilian bailiff, Michael, was in the lead. I said, please come in, walk around the vehicle one time slowly with the jurors, and then exit. That is what they did. 2 videos were made. One was prior to anyone being in there. It was just the sheriff's department personnel, I should say prior to the parties being in there. And they took a video of the garage and then a walk around the vehicle that was provided to me at the conclusion. It was on a large type drive, and then I provided that to Mike Nyman and Zach Tremaine, who then provided that to the media. And then the second part where we all were in there and the jury came through, that was also captured on video. All of that was put on a flash drive and will be marked as Court's Exhibit 1, along with the docket entries Madam Clerk will make. And then, of course, if need be, if a transcript is ever needed, I did document a few things as we went through that process, so that there's that contemporaneous record as well. Any party feel the need to add to the record I've just made from the state?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
From you, sir?
Not to that, no.
Oh!
Okay.
What?
Thank you.
Whoa! Wait! Whoa! What? 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 Not today. Does that mean all day, Darrell?
All right, then I know the jury is
That's a
ready
warning.
to be brought back out. I believe the state has additional witnesses.
We do, Your Honor, and I have another large poster board that I'd like to show with the next witness. So I don't know if you'd like us to put it up on the witness stand now before they come out, or
Do we need?
Darrell is so jealous that they put together this stuff. And every time they do something, you can see he's saying, I wish I had that. I could do something. I could do it better. I'm Darrell. I'm Darrell. Stomp, 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 stomp. He gets so mad. One of you said, it was so funny in the comments, he thinks he's so smart, and it is sad. It's sad. Don't make me think of him as partially human anymore, because I don't. He has lost the right to that. When I was an instructor in college, and this was a community college, so it was small. I did work at a university for a while, and I did some collaboration with them, and I set up their accreditation for their program and things like that. Kids, people, they want to be included. They want to feel included. That we're social beings. Most of us, maybe not me, but most of us, we're social beings. And Darrell probably at one time just wanted to be included. And his music videos, all of that trash that he's putting out, he just wants to be included. Maybe this is a way for me to want to kind of be included. I kind of do this for myself. It's great. I have people who are saying they feel the way I feel, because it makes me feel a little bit more confident with that. Like, am I the only one in the world? Am I an island? No, there's a small group of us. Hi, everybody, who think that Darrell is a clown and a troll and a goblin, stomping and stepping in every pile of poo to get it splashed everywhere. Because he's not happy being a miserable loser on his own. He's got to spread that around.
Need the easel for that?
yeah, we'll need the easel too.
All right, since there's no
So
jury out,
jealous.
you can put that on the witness stand now.
Thank you.
Maybe put it facing backwards, and then that will be there for the next witness. All right, and then anything from you, sir?
In regards to this,
In regards to these,
Any other preliminary matters that you are asking the court to address?
where my filings actually filed,
You're talking about from this morning?
yes,
Have they been scanned in so that you can get the originals back? Is that what you're asking?
yes.
I will ask Madam Clerk if that has happened.
They have.
All right.
It has.
Let me see. I think in our papers that we have been keeping, there might have been another filing from you. So whatever we have, they've all been entered into the record, and you're getting back as a courtesy those filings.
he thinks these filings are becoming evidence, and that this evidence, which is probably nothing but a bunch of jargon and mumbo jumbo, proves something.
That was the one this morning, and then these are the two originals that I had not given back yet. There were two that I gave him immediately, like I scanned them in right away, and then gave
Okay.
them back. These are the two I was still holding.
There's two other ones, so I have one from October 5, one from October 13, and then one from October 19. These, just so we're clear, sir, I'm providing these as a courtesy back to you because the clerk's office policy is once they're scanned in, they are destroyed because then what's in the electronic file is what's kept. They do not have the docket entries though because you requested the originals back, so I'll provide those to you. Okay, then with that, we'll have the jurors brought out.
Oh, sh-
The court's declining to address that further. I stand by my written decision that was entered last week.
So we won't be proving it for the record?
I stand by my written decision that was entered last week, sir.
Judicial determination?
Yes.
It is a judicial determination.
All rise for the jury.
Thank you, everyone. Please be seated. The state may call its next witness.
Thank you. The state will call Detective Justin Rowe.
Good afternoon, sir. If you would please make your way to the witness stand, which is to my right. When you get there, please remain standing. Raise your right hand. My clerk, Teresa, who's on my left, will swear you in.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Please have a seat. First thing I will ask you to do is to state your first and last names for the record and then spell each.
Justin, Justin, Rowe, Rowe.
Go ahead, your witness.
Thank you. Detective, how are you currently employed?
City of WAUKESHA Police Department.
Can you briefly describe for the jury your experience in law enforcement?
From 2003 to 2009, I was a security police officer with the United States Air Force. And then from 2009 to present, I've been a member of the WAUKESHA Police Department.
And your current rank is that of detective?
That's correct.
I'd like to direct your attention to the date of November 23, 2021. Were you on duty that day, sir?
Yes, I was.
Do you recall what your assignment was that day?
I was tasked with going to the Maple Avenue and Northwest Avenue area neighborhoods to search for items that may have been discarded by Darrell Brooks.
And were you alone in that task?
No, I was accompanied by a whole team of other detectives and investigators.
Before you traveled to the neighborhood, did you have a plan of action?
We did. We planned to begin at 338 Maple Avenue, which is where the vehicle was left prior to Darrell Brooks fleeing the scene south. So we had begun at that location and began to canvass our way south and west.
Were you present when any items were discovered that were relevant?
Yes, I was.
And just very briefly describe what those items were, sir.
Objection meeting.
What?
Specialist Spakowitz and I We're walking in the parking lot of 322 Maple Avenue, which is a large apartment complex, and we came across a right-footed sandal, a blue sandal, up against a fence area that separates the Dunbar neighborhood or street homes from the Maple Avenue apartment complex.
Are you aware of any other items that were recovered during this effort on that same day of November 23, 2021?
Yes, a short distance from that sandal.
He thought by saying that he had sandals on with a different team on it and stuff, that was going to, you know, make it unclear that those were his. They had DNA. Dumb Darrell. Dumb. So dumb. So dumb. Okay, sorry, I had to. So yeah, so dumb.
Some other investigators did locate a sweatshirt and a left-footed blue sandal.
Now, in addition to looking for items, did you and other detectives attempt to obtain video from homeowners and businesses in the area?
Objection, leading.
Overruled. It's foundational. The witness may answer.
Yes, we did.
And do you recall obtaining a video from the school district?
Yes, we did.
And do you recall what building or buildings from the school district video was recovered from?
Objection, leading.
Overruled. The witness may answer.
It's a building that's right on Maple Avenue. It's we refer to it as the School District of WAUKESHA. It's their administrative building, also known as the Lindholm Building.
And you obtained video from that location?
Yes, we did.
Did you also obtain video from homeowners on Dunbar?
Objection, leading.
Overruled. The witness may answer.
Yes, we did.
Specifically 435 Dunbar?
Correct.
Objection, leading.
Overruled. It's foundational. Sir, please wait until I rule on the objection. Thank you.
And how about Central Street or Road?
Yes, we did.
Did you have an opportunity to review those videos that were collected?
I did.
And did you see anything of significance to this investigation in any of those videos?
Objection, speculative.
Overruled. The witness may answer.
Yes.
I'm going to show you an item that's been marked as exhibit number 131. I'm going to show it on your monitor first, okay? So let me know when it's up.
It's up.
All right, and we're going to just take it out of presentation. There we go. Okay.
What exhibit is it?
This is 131, Mr. Brooks.
Mm-hmm.
What do you know Exhibit 131 to contain, Detective Rowe?
This is a video that is taken from 425 Dunbar Avenue, which is the south side of Dunbar Avenue. And if you see on the near the upper left-hand corner, the northern intersection area, there is a red sort of blur near the bottom of a driveway right before the intersection. And that is going to be Darrell Brooks on that
Running down the
sidewalk
street
and
like a
across
chicken.
the street.
Okay.
Hold on 1 minute. I'm just going to remind the jury it's up for the jury to determine what the facts are, not what any witness's opinion may be. You will ultimately need to decide who is in that video. Go ahead.
And I should ask a broader question. The exhibit itself, the whole exhibit, does it contain, do you know what's in Exhibit 131?
Yes, I do.
Does it contain more than one video, sir?
Objection, leading.
Overruled. I'll allow it. The witness may answer.
I believe this is one video of it itself.
Sure, but the exhibit contains multiple videos and
Correct.
Objection,
still
leading.
shots?
Yes.
Okay.
Objection noted. I'll overrule it. It's foundational.
So they're
Go ahead.
consistent.
What are you looking at right now,
Put
sir?
up together.
I'm looking at the beginning of the video of Dunbar Avenue.
Okay. Do you believe, well, strike that. I'm going to ask the assistant to play this video for you.
Or you.
at your monitor, and then I'll ask you a question, okay?
Okay.
Oh, they're playing it for him.
Before you do that, for the record, how long of a clip is it?
I was just looking for that because we're now in a PowerPoint, Your Honor. I don't know that I can tell you exactly until we get to the end.
Looks like 9 minutes or something.
9 seconds and
Oh,
9.56 seconds, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Go ahead.
All right, so we're playing this for you, Detective Rowe. All right, were you able to observe the video?
Yes.
And were you able to observe anything of significance to this investigation in the video?
objection. Speculative at that point.
Overruled, the witness may answer.
Yes, it appears the defendant is crossing the street.
This exhibit, I'm sorry, are you aware of the other videos and pictures contained in Exhibit 131?
Yes.
Objection, leading.
Overruled, the witness may answer. Once again, please wait till I rule on the objections.
Do you believe all of the videos and pictures in Exhibit 131 are true and accurate based off of the videos that were obtained from the homeowners and businesses that you testified
That's
to
a complicated
previously?
one because she's got more than one video in here.
Yes.
I'll move to admit 131 and permission to publish, Your Honor.
Objection. Speculative video.
Speculative. It's
Your
speculative.
objection is noted. It is
I'm
overruled.
saying
Exhibit
it's not me.
131 in its entirety is received. And did you ask for permission to publish?
I did.
Go ahead.
Speculative. Speculative.
And
my
for the record, Your Honor, this is a PowerPoint. What's being discussed?
Even they started saying those words wrong. Substain and speculative. And I'm not sure that's too wrong. Okay, let's watch this.
Played at the moment is slide number 1.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Is it on the jury box? Okay. All right, please play the video in slide 1.
So they're saying this is him.
All right, the video has played completely, Your Honor. I'm going to ask to move to slide number 2.
Go ahead.
Do you see what's shown on slide number 2, Detective Rowe?
Yes.
I'm not sure I've seen it all blown up. They seriously have video and pictures and blow-ups and different angles of him stomping through and run the entire crowd. This actually reminds me of a very tragic situation where it was an officer, and I remember working with her. I'm not going to mention her name. I remember working with her on a they called us for assistance with a person who fell, and I use air quotes on fall because what had happened was the gentleman was a drug addict, and the people he was purchasing his goods from assisted him in falling down in as many times as it took. So she called us. He was the victim, I'll call him, was running away. I don't need you. I don't need help. Thanks very much. I don't need help. And the two assistants, people who were assisting him in falling to the ground a bunch of times, were just lurching around watching the whole situation. So if you think that what I did was a safe job, it was nowhere near it. But anyway, this nice lady officer was ambushed one night, and in an attempt to get away from the metal flying out of the you-know-whats. She put her cruiser in drive and like basically drove through a fence and down into a ditch in park. And she was taken to the university hospital, and that's where she was by her family declared deceased and so forth. And I'm sure they did the Walk of Honor, and she donated organs and all kinds of things. She had 5 kids. Anyway, the spree of troll stomp, goblin run by these 2 people who committed that crime was caught on video all the way across to West Baltimore, because we're in South Baltimore, all the way to West Baltimore, where they attempted, or I think they did, in fact, unalive someone else the same night, and then they stomped her. They had video on practically every block of these 2 clowns. And that's what they've got here. You literally have a video from start to finish of this man's crime spree. How does he even expect?
Describe what we're seeing in slide 2.
Upper left-hand corner, you're going to see
Just to wrap that story up, the 2 clowns pled guilty and they're sentenced, and it was all very quiet, hush hush.
another still image of the original video, and then below that you're going to see a zoomed-in, cropped image of the figure that would be crossing the street.
Okay. Have you seen this video on other occasions, sir?
Yes,
And obviously the zoomed in image is quite blurry.
absolutely.
Okay. When we played slide 1, were you able to make out any details about the person in slide 1 that was crossing the street?
Yes, it appeared the person had a red shirt.
Okay. All right, I'm going to go to slide number 3, please. And you testified about receiving video from the school building at 222 Maple Avenue, is that right?
Objection leading.
Sustained as to the form of the question. Please rephrase.
What is shown on slide 3?
Slide 3 is a view towards the rear parking lot of the Lindholm building, or also known as the School District of WAUKESHA Administration Building.
And I'm going to request that we play the video in slide number 3, Your Honor, in its entirety.
Do you happen to know how many seconds?
5.97.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Objection relevancy.
Overruled. You may play.
Did it play?
Yep.
I'm sorry, I missed it. Okay, we'll go to slide, next slide. Lost track. We're on 4 or 5. Slide number.
Look at his
Going to
dumb
slide number
face.
4. All right, so
Idiot.
again, the camera, or strike that. What are we seeing on slide 4?
So again, we're seeing a still shot of the previous video we just
You can already
viewed.
hear his
And then there's a
ridiculous
zoom in
questions.
function below that where it shows a cropped out photograph of a figure.
Okay. And you've seen this video yourself in person, sir?
Yes.
What do you recall about what you were able to observe about the figure or subject walking there behind the school?
Objection leading.
Overruled. The witness may answer.
The figure moves from right to left through the parking lot, or north to south, up until until it reaches the fence on the left side of the picture.
All right, next slide, please. Do you recognize the image in slide number 5?
Yes.
Or is it 6? 5, okay. Please tell us what you recognize this area to be.
This is also the Lindholm building. This is a camera that is deeper into the parking lot, which means that it will be a closer view of the previous video.
Okay. And, I'm going to ask that we play this clip, Your Honor, and for the record, it's a total of 20.81 seconds.
Go ahead.
Objection.
Your objection's noted. Go ahead and play.
Squawk, squirta, chicken.
Thank you. Please turn to the next slide. What do we see in slide number 6?
Upper left-hand corner is a still shot of the video, and below that is a screen capture of a figure in that photo.
Okay. Next slide, slide 7. So currently we're looking at a black screen, correct?
Yes.
Do you know what this video is going to show, sir?
Objection speculative.
Speculative. Speculative.
Overruled, the witness may answer if he's able.
Yes, it's another home security camera at 126 Central Avenue.
They literally captured every second of his crime. Ugh. My gosh.
All right. It's a total of 20 seconds, 20.09 seconds. And we will play in its entirety, Your Honor. And with sound on this one, yes, thank you.
Go.
Excuse me.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Stomp, 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 stomp.
All right, next slide, please. What do we see on this final slide, sir?
Upper left-hand corner is a still shot from the video, and the screen that's been cropped at the bottom is a image of
Darrell Brooks, the troll goblin, the turd monster, stomping with his no shoes on, no flip-flops, putting his hair up, you know, that he purchased, because we know he didn't grow that. I know somebody who grew their own locks, and he did not grow these things. She works hard on those things, too. It's
the defendant.
All right.
red shirt trying
That
to change the way he
exhibit,
looks.
131.
Stomping.
Detective Rowe, based on these video clips that you obtained and the canvas that you and your team did in the neighborhood, were you able to put together a map
TikTok things.
basically tracking the travels of Darrell Brooks through the neighborhood that afternoon?
The travels.
Being called that name is
Leading.
The objections are noted, overruled, the witness may answer.
Turn this down a bit.
Yes.
And I should include, do you know the location where Darrell Brooks was arrested?
objection.
Yeah.
I don't consent to being called that name. Speculative.
Speculative. It's not speculative if that is in fact where it was documented by video and witnesses and the homeowner and everything, that's where it's not speculative. But he says, I don't consent to being called that name, whenever he has no legitimate, or none of his objections are legitimate. That's a bad way to put it. Ugh. When he has nothing else to say, when he just wants to interrupt the conversation.
Witness may answer.
Ugh.
Yes, I'm aware he was arrested on Elizabeth Street.
Okay. And are you aware of reports to other officers as far as citizens that had contact with Mr. Brooks in the area of Elizabeth Street?
Objection. I don't consent to being
Call that name. I don't consent.
Noted, the witness may answer.
Call that name. Don't call
Yes,
me
I'm aware.
names
All
like
right.
Darrell.
Behind you, sir, is a large poster board that's facing backwards. I'm going to ask you to please assist me by putting that face forward on the easel behind you.
Ah.
Can you please tilt that so that the court and Mr. Brooks can see as well?
Yes, and we're also going to put up the digital copy, Your Honor. I just wanted to.
Oh, okay. Then that's fine then.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll have him work off the digital copy, but Before you sit down, Detective Rowe,
Sure.
in the bottom right-hand corner of that poster board, there is a sticker. Do you see that?
Yes, it is.
Objection leading.
Could you help us by telling us the exhibit number? I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's foundational. I'll allow the question to be asked. Go ahead and finish your question and answer.
What's the exhibit number, Detective Rowe?
130.
Okay.
Thank you.
Detective Rowe, do you believe that Exhibit 130 is an accurate summary of the travels and the contacts by Mr. Brooks on the evening of November 21, 2021?
Objection, I don't consent to being called that name.
Overruled. The witness may answer.
Yes.
Move
I
to
don't
admit
consent to be
130 and permission to
coded
publish, Your Honor.
Objection.
Somebody's calling me. Let's see if this is worth a while.
Linda here, tax 1333. When you get this message, please.
Scam callers. Let's see what this.
I'm sorry. I cut you off. What's the basis, if you have?
Relevancy.
Relevancy.
The objection is noted.
Relevancy.
It is overruled. Exhibit 130 is received.
Okay,
Permission to
actually,
publish.
I am going to pause.
Electronic copy is granted.
Okay, I think it's working now. Sorry. Okay, it must be working. Okay.
All right. Detective Rowe, I know we're back out so we can see the whole map at this point. We will zoom in a moment, but the northernmost event that's reflected on the map reads what?
Officer Skolton shoots at SUV at 4:39 p.m.
Okay, do you know that to be accurate based on your knowledge of this investigation?
Objection leading.
Overruled. The witness may answer.
Yes.
And then there appears to be a red line from that point going south down the middle or
This is where he
right
shoots
side
at.
of the map. Do you see where I'm referring to, sir?
Objection
Yes, I do.
leading.
Overruled. It's foundational. The witness may answer.
Yes, I do.
What does that red line from the star where we noted Officer Skolton fired, the red line going south, what does that represent, sir?
The solid red line is the route taken by vehicle.
Okay. And where did it go? What roads?
Objection leading.
Overruled.
It's not leading.
Vehicle traveled south on Northwest Avenue, made a left-hand turn to go east onto Prospect Court. Vehicle then drove behind some residences on Maple Avenue before coming to a rest in the driveway of 338 Maple.
Okay, I'm going to ask Ms. Gussie to please zoom in on that upper right-hand quadrant of the exhibit, please.
Oh, this is where I got
And
shot at.
specifically the area of 338 Maple, please. Okay.
Comes down, makes a left turn.
So you said the vehicle traveled through the backyards off of Prospect Court, is that right?
That's
Objection
correct.
accident, yes, sir.
Sir, please wait until I rule on the objection. The objection is noted.
Oh, okay. And this is where
It's
those people
overruled.
were walking.
Now you may answer.
Okay. Can you just,
Right
that's
here.
a touch screen in front of you, so just kind of point out the area that you're speaking of right now.
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question?
Yes. Using the touch screen, can you point out the path of the vehicle that you just were describing for us?
Objection leading.
Overruled. Go ahead.
And when
Runs over those
it came
people's
down
fire
West
pit.
Avenue, right?
Yes.
And what road did it turn
Stomping.
onto?
Turned east onto Prospect Court.
And then when it turns off of Prospect Court, is that a road?
Yes.
Objection leading.
I'm sorry, when it left Prospect. I'm sorry.
Sir, which question were you objecting to?
The last one.
About which way it turned? Or turning onto Prospect?
The way it was actually.
You know what? I don't even remember what it was, so I'll sustain it and ask the state to re-ask.
Okay, sure. At some point, did the vehicle leave Prospect Court?
Yes, it did.
When it did that, was it on a roadway?
No.
So the line you drew from south from Prospect Court represents what, sir?
Objection leading.
Overruled. The witness may answer.
backyards.
On the far right corner of the map, do you see a blue dot in the same area we're talking about here?
Objection, leading.
Overruled, the witness may answer.
Yes.
And what does that represent, please?
The camera at Les Paul School.
And what's the address of Les Paul School,
Objection.
if you know, or
relevancy.
street?
Overruled, the witness may answer.
I don't know the address, but it is right off Maple.
Okay. And you see just below that, there's a yellow dot with the name Wauwatosa Officer Sailors. You see that?
I do.
Okay. Now, you've stopped drawing your line there, your yellow line over the red line. You see what I'm referring to?
Yes.
And in that area, I notice the line becomes dashed. Do you see that?
Yes.
Objection, leading.
Overruled, the witness may answer. Again, please wait till I rule on the objection.
Yes.
Thank you.
What's the difference between the red solid line and the dashed line, sir?
The dashed line is the path that the defendant took on foot.
Okay. And do you see then, moving back to the left on the map, the two boxes in white depicting where the sandals were recovered?
Objection, leading.
Overruled, the witness may answer.
Yes.
Is that consistent with your recollection, sir?
And there's a camera here, because the blue ones
Yes.
are the cameras.
The dashed line then moves, so there's two green X's, correct? You see where I'm referring to, sir?
Objection, leading.
Overruled, the witness may answer.
Yes.
And then the red dashed line moves to the left or west from the second green X, correct?
Yes.
What's going on at this point, sir?
This is a point where the defendant is traversing through yards towards the west.
Okay. And did we just see the video of him crossing the street there on Dunbar?
Objection, leading.
Overruled.
Yes.
Move up a little, please, or more to the back. Yep, there we go. Okay.
Clear the line, please, Madam Clerk. Thank you.
Is the Lindum building on this map, sir?
Yes.
Could you point it out?
That's
Did we
the
just see
parking
the
lot.
two videos from those two cameras at the Lindum building in the last exhibit, 131?
Objection, leading.
Overruled, the witness may answer.
Yes.
Okay. Keep going south on the map. What's the next event that's noted, sir?
Do you want, can we clear?
Yep, yes, clear, I'm sorry.
Thank
And
you.
maybe we can move further south on the map. Thank you.
So the first thing that I see is makes phone call at 4:47 p.m. Dominic Capron at 417 Central Avenue.
Okay, is that the location of Central Avenue, sir?
So that nice guy
I'm sorry,
with the kids who
417
had
Central
trouble,
Avenue?
like expressing
Objection,
himself.
Overruled, the witness may answer.
Yes, it is.
Okay. And are you aware of conversation also reported by Sean Backler at his residence on Central Avenue?
Where he told him to
Yes.
Is his residence shown on the
Fluff
map,
off.
sir?
Yes.
Can you please circle these two conversations that you just identified for us?
Objection, leading.
Overruled, you may indicate on the map.
Okay. Now I see the dash line moving to the west again. Do you see that, sir?
Yes.
What's happening in this area, please?
Objection, speculative.
Overruled, the witness may answer.
This is the camera at 126 Central Avenue. Mr. Brooks is seen on camera moving to the west at 4:48 p.m.
Was that in Exhibit 131 that we just showed the jury?
Objection, leading.
Overruled, you may answer.
Yes.
Which video was that one? Do you remember?
Objection, leading.
Overruled, you may answer.
It was the, I believe it was the last video that we had watched prior to showing the map.
Okay. Now, at this point, the dash line ends. Is that right?
That's correct.
Why is that?
Objection speculative.
I'll allow the witness to give his opinion.
Because we don't have any
What did I do?
indication as to where or when Mr. Brooks crossed
This
West
street.
Avenue to get to Elizabeth Street.
But he shows up here again.
Are you aware that there's a reported contact between Mr. Brooks and a witness identified as Aaron Cordes?
Objection leading.
Overruled, the witness may answer.
So
Yes, I'm
these
aware.
two, and then this
And
poor
is
lady.
that area where that meeting occurred depicted on this map?
Yes, it is.
Where did that meeting occur?
It happened just west of Northwest Avenue on Elizabeth Street.
And is Aries Industries shown on this map, sir?
Yes, it is.
Could you identify Aries Industries?
Oh, over here. So she tells him to go into this lobby. He goes over to the door.
Are you aware of video from that location showing person appearing to be Mr. Brooks approaching the front door lobby of the business?
Objection, I don't
This is
consider being called
Noted, the witness may answer.
Speculative, don't call me names.
Okay. And then finally, the last red X on the bottom left corner there, what does that depict, sir?
That depicts 553 Elizabeth Street, the location of arrest, which was at 5:14 p.m. And that is the residence of Daniel Ryder. And Mr. Brooks makes and receives a phone call at 5:03 to 5:05 p.m.
Should have just stayed over here where the
Do you believe,
Lyft driver was
this map
going
is
to
an
be.
accurate documentation of the investigation, again, as to the travel of Darrell Brooks this evening, on the evening of November 21.
Objection speculative, and I don't consent to being called.
Go
that.
to need, don't call me
Noted,
names.
overruled, the witness may answer.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
Sure. Do you believe this map is an accurate summary of the travel and whereabouts of Darrell Brooks at various points on the evening of November 21?
Objection speculative, and I don't consent to being called that name.
Your objections are noted. They are overruled. The witness may answer.
Yes.
All right, thank you, Detective. I don't have any other questions.
Oh, here we go.
Cross-exam for this witness, sir?
Yep.
Buckle
You
it.
can
Yup.
begin when you're ready.
Okay. Buckle up. Drink.
So, Officer Rowe, you repeatedly referred to the alleged defendant's name. How did you come into that information?
Based on the entirety of the investigation.
And when did you come into the knowledge of the alleged defendant's name?
Leads
I don't
defendant.
Or when did your part of the investigation start?
Stupid.
After he drove the SUV through the parade, I was called at home to come in and help the departments with the investigation.
And just so we're clear for the record, is the jury asking you questions or me?
I'm sorry, I did not hear the question.
Okay. They're all confused. What's he crying about now? Okay. Darrell, the narcissist, is crying because he's not the center of attention. All of those, I don't like being called that name, it's speculative, and pay attention to me, and don't pay attention to them, and all this other stuff he does is just to draw attention. When we are taught, if you are good enough to be taught in a paramedic program or in your academy or in your police academy or wherever, we're not lawyers, but we end up in these legal situations. When you are taught to testify, or people will suggest things when you testify, the prosecution and the defense are presenting a case to the jury. Okay? They're not asking the questions. The case is being drawn out. The details are being drawn out by the two parties. But those are the people who need the answer, the story, the whatever. So you are actually taught that the answer should be focused to the jury, not the judge, not the lawyers, nobody in that room, the jury. So he is mad. Darrell is mad. He's mad because he's not the center of attention. They're not asking you questions. I'm asking you questions. You should, and then he's going to get even worse. So let's just watch. Let's watch Darrell get worse. Stop.
Repeat your question.
Temper tantrum.
Well, I was referring to when I ask a question, he turns towards the jury as if they're the ones asking the question.
That's not a question, Your Honor.
It is a question.
We did ask a question about that.
Yes.
I think you're asking why does he do that? To that extent, the witness may answer.
I'm here to present the case to the jury.
So,
Oh, twist it. Near.
I follow that fundamentally. But for the sake of making sure you hear the questions right, wouldn't it be fair to say that
Now
you
that's
should pay attention to
argumentative.
the questions being answered, or
Objection,
being asked,
argumentative.
rather?
Assumes the fact, not an evidence.
Sustained is to the form of the question. Please rephrase.
Wouldn't it make sense to focus on the questions so you can hear them clearly?
Objection, argumentative. Still assumes the fact, not an evidence.
Sustained.
Thank you.
You made reference to you being here to present the case to the jury. So is that the reason why you decided to testify?
Decided.
Objection to the relevance.
Grounds?
Oh, overruled. The witness may answer.
I don't understand your question.
There you go.
Were you able to hear my question clearly?
I don't understand your question.
Were you able to hear my question clearly?
Objection, argumentative, Your Honor.
Sustained. Next question, please.
Thank
Or
you.
rephrase the previous question to the one that was asked just now.
What was not understood about the question that you were asked?
Objection,
The
argumentative.
question.
Grounds?
Sustained as to the
Thank you.
form of the question. Please rephrase.
What wasn't clear about what I was asking?
Same question.
Same objection, Your Honor.
Grounds?
The objection is sustained. Let's
Thank you.
go back and ask the question that he says he didn't understand and rephrase it, please. Or move on. Your choice.
Was your sole reason for testifying here today?
Objection, relevance.
Let's let Mr. Brooks get the question out. Go ahead.
Apologize, I thought that was it.
He interrupts.
Are you testifying today
I got my
strictly
popcorn.
to prove your case to the jury?
Objection, misstatement of his testimony.
Grounds? That's what he said.
Sustained as
No.
to the form of the question.
Wait.
Please state-
Did he say his case to the jury? He's not stating his case to the jury. He's stating the case to the jury. The case, the facts that he knows about the case, he's presenting them to the jury. Twist it all you want, Darrell. He's a witness. We're going to get into something here in a minute. Let's go.
It's the prior testimony.
That's what he said.
Though.
So why did you decide to testify here today?
Objection, that's a legally inaccurate question, Your Honor.
Please rephrase the question. I'm sustaining the question asked as to the form of the question.
I don't know how I'm supposed to rephrase that.
Stupid question.
Without having the same form of the question. That helps.
No, it doesn't. Nobody's helping you.
I'll rule if there's an objection, but ask a question, please.
Did you seek to testify here today in this matter?
No.
No.
So how did you ultimately come to that decision?
Objection, that's a misstatement, Your Honor.
I'm gonna let it go a
It
little
was
further.
not his decision.
Sustained
Yes, it was.
The form of the question assumes a fact, not an evidence.
Were you subpoenaed?
Yes.
Do you recall by whom you were subpoenaed to testify?
District Attorney Sue Opper from the Waukesha County District Attorney's Office.
And at that time you were subpoenaed, you decided to testify.
I don't believe it's my decision.
Incorrect. All right. Let's get down and dirty to it. Here's the box. In the box is our social construct. We've constructed a legal system inside of this box. And we're free. We're free to make any decision we want to make. Darrell's right about that. He makes all kinds of decisions that don't fit into that legal and social construct. Mostly because he's a monster and a troll and a goblin. But that's beside the point. Let's stick to the point. When you receive a subpoena from our court system, there are consequences for not following those instructions. There's simple instructions given to you. The court wants your attention. They want to know what you know. They are calling for that knowledge. They are calling for you to come and testify to that knowledge. That is what a subpoena is. It is legal. There are consequences. If you go and testify, the consequences are very small, or you can have social consequences. Maybe people think you're a sneak or a narc or a snitch or whatever, or what, or they think you're great because you testified. We think all these people are great because they testified. This is a hard thing to do. You can get a subpoena and you cannot testify. There are consequences to that. They can put a bench warrant out on you. Okay, they can stop you from being able to register your car. They can do all sorts of different legal things. On top of that, this gentleman in particular is a police officer. He works for the WAUKESHA Police Department. So when he receives a subpoena that has to do with his job, which this one does, he wouldn't have been involved otherwise, he is required to follow the subpoena. Okay, so let's give an example. I've gotten subpoenas through the fire department. I actually never saw a subpoena. My supervisor got it. I got an email, show up to court this day. Let's go write your special so that you can be off that day, all these things. It's very simple. Then I show up in my Class A uniform and I answer the questions and I get the rest of the day off. It's awesome. Actually, it sucks. But the consequences for not doing it, above and beyond the consequences that the court can impose upon me, my job can impose things like suspension, firing me, all sorts of different disciplinary action for not showing up. I can be fired for not showing up and not showing up for work. I could show up for work, not the subpoena, and then get suspended for not following the subpoena. You're required to, as a public servant, there you go, to serve the public by following the orders of the subpoena. So, can he not? Of course. He could stay home. He could go to work. But there's going to be consequences through the court system, and there's going to be consequences at his job. That is a pretty big influence and a pretty big motivator to actually just go to court and answer questions. It's pretty simple. So that's how I used to teach it to the students at school after I got assaulted and I was subpoenaed many times to show up for that clown. My coworker, who was also subpoenaed, at one point decided she wasn't going to follow through with those subpoenas. The court decided not to impose any sanctions, and our fire department decided not to impose any sanctions. I did follow them, and also I did not get, well, I got sanctioned in different ways, but I was, I did what I did. Those decisions, though, in our social box are not really decisions. You're following the court order. Pretty simple. Pretty simple. Not a conspiracy theory, Darrell.
Well, it would be fair to say that you didn't have to show up, right?
Yep.
That'd be fair to say?
No, I had to show up.
But would it be fair to say that you could have chosen not to?
No, it would not be fair to say that.
Not for him. Nobody's gonna go to jail for you, Darrell. Dummy.
Exhibit 131 that was shown to you. Have you seen that video footage before today?
Yes, I have.
Do you recall who showed it to you before today?
I don't recall who showed it to me.
Would it be fair to say you've seen it multiple times before today?
Popcorn.
Yes, I've seen it a number of times.
And do you recall when you were first shown that video?
Not off the top of my head.
Was it the same day of the incident, the days following, sometime after?
It's a stupid question,
I
Darrell.
don't recall when I saw the video the first time.
And what about Exhibit 130? Had you seen that video footage before today?
Darrell, you stupid goblin. His investigation helped put together all those things. He's the one who was with the search and hunt for garbage team that had to follow your poop trail through the city. Ugh.
Objection, Your Honor, 130 is the map.
Or the map? Have you seen the map before today?
Yeah.
I don't really think it.
Just for the record, I'll sustain the objection just because it referenced the wrong number, but I believe you rephrased. So go ahead, the witness may answer.
Thank you,
Can I
Judge.
ask the question again, please?
Had you seen the map of Exhibit 130 before today?
Yes, I have.
Multiple times as well?
His wheel.
Yes, numerous times.
Darrell.
Any idea why you viewed it so many times, multiple times?
No,
Unsure.
doesn't make any difference.
Were you able to obtain any more information upon seeing the map numerous times that you didn't obtain when first seeing the map?
No.
So it would be fair to say you pretty much knew what the map was detailing. each and every time you saw it?
Yes.
Can't believe another 10 minutes of this.
And on that map, Exhibit 130, you made reference to at some point the dotted line, and it stops at some point. That'd be fair to say?
Could you be more specific?
The dotted line that was referred to on the map.
Do you want the map brought up? Would that be helpful to you?
Or maybe it might be helpful to him.
He's got the large map, but if you want to...
So, if you can see the dotted line on the map behind you,
Yes.
is it fair to say that the dotted line stops at some point? Around Central Avenue, maybe?
Yes, there's a couple lines that seem to come to Central Avenue or egress out of Central Avenue that do stop.
And you stated that, well, what was the reason that you stated that that line stops, the dotted line?
It stated that it's because we don't know the exact location where you cross the street to get over to Elizabeth Street.
And why, were there no cameras present at that point, or how did you lose the path of travel at that point?
We didn't find any cameras or any eyewitnesses in that area.
So it would be fair to say at that point you weren't sure what happened.
I know that you crossed the street at some point. We just don't know where.
How do you know that?
Because you were arrested on Elizabeth Street.
Did you see any crossing of, I think you said that was West? That'd be West Avenue that you were referring to, that you don't see any crossing of?
What's your question?
Is that West Avenue that you stated that you
He's
don't
getting
see,
mad.
that you
He's
didn't
getting
see any
mad.
crossing of?
That is Northwest Avenue.
Or Northwest Avenue, I'm sorry, I don't know the streets.
I don't know streets.
Northwest Avenue.
Darrell, God.
And you don't have any visual footage or any eyewitnesses, as you said,
As you see.
to say for sure
To
that
say for
Northwest
sure.
Avenue was crossed.
We didn't obtain any witness statements or any eyewitness or any video of the suspect crossing the street.
What is he writing down? Practically had a goblin drone following
And what
you.
day were what day were you doing your part of the investigation? Was that the same evening or the next few days after the incident, or
Can you clarify which investigation you're talking about?
the one that you took part in? Your part of the investigation.
I don't understand what time frame you're asking for.
What day did you start your part of the investigation?
Well, we started the investigation as soon as he ran people over in the parade.
You were there?
I responded to the parade after he had done that.
Were you at the parade?
No, I was not.
So it'd be fair to say you were on call.
No, I was not.
So it'd be fair to say you don't know when your part of the investigation started then, right?
That's a dumb question. Okay, much like the bridge collapse, there is what is referred to as an all call or a global call, where officers, first responders, fire departments, any manner of people who are qualified, even hospitals will have a call-in system for any kind of a situation like this where they're called in. So like even the bridge code, there's what's they call everyone, here's where it is, if you have a way to go to your station and participate to help out, that's what they do. Because not only does the incident itself need the resources, but they need to backfill the city. So, for example, there was a firefighter. Oh, for example, the 3 firefighters who were killed in Baltimore a couple of years ago. All of us, I had surgery that day, so I came quite late, but all of us, I was not on duty, I had surgery that day, were there for the funeral. We all were invited to the funeral. So every single one of our stations in the entire city were participating in this one event. The jurisdictions around us came to fill in and brought their trucks and engines and medics and things like that to take the calls that would normally come anyway, because nobody cares that we are struggling with loss. So he wasn't working. He was part of the call-in process procedure or all-call procedure or whatever they call it in his area.
It would not be fair to say that.
Stupid.
You don't recall what time it was when you
Oh my
started your part of the
goodness.
investigation?
What time it was?
As soon as I responded.
And you don't recall when you were dispatched to respond?
It's in my report. I don't remember the time exactly, but it's in my report.
Those things are auto-filled.
And at that time, did you know the identity or name of any alleged suspects at that time that you were dispatched?
The times I was sent to the city of WAUKESHA, I did not know the identity of the suspect.
You made reference to a report. Do you recall when you wrote that report, or did you write the report yourself?
Did I write the report? The report?
Yes.
What
I typically
time?
write my own reports.
Because that,
And do you recall when you submitted that report?
I have no idea what day I submitted the report.
So when you were first dispatched, what did you do?
I drove to the city of WAUKESHA and met with members at the WAUKESHA Police Command Unit.
And were you dispatched to any location from that point?
I was not dispatched.
Were you sent to any location from that point?
I was assigned with taking a number of investigators with myself and walking the entire parade route, going from establishment to establishment, bar to bar, restaurant to restaurant, and obtaining phone numbers and names of people who were present at the parade and who had witnessed something and would be followed up with later by a member of the Detective Bureau.
So it'd be fair to say you did some interviews at that time?
Yes.
Do you recall how many?
No.
Hold on a second. Hold up. I gotta do this. Clean that up. Sorry, we got a person not cleaning up their dog after their dog. She thinks nobody watches her. So
And
lazy.
after conducting these interviews, what did you do?
I went home.
I went home.
So at that time, after conducting your interviews and then going back to your home, did you have the name or ID of any suspects at that time?
Yes.
And whom were you told by?
I don't recall.
Do you recall who you submitted your typed report to?
I don't understand your question.
Do you recall who you submitted your typed police report to?
No.
It's not a question.
I'm assuming your law enforcement agency doesn't type up reports and just leave them sitting on the desk. Would that be fair to say?
That'd be correct.
Any reason why you wouldn't recall who you gave your report to?
Well, it's electronically submitted.
And from there, does it have a specific sergeant, or lieutenant, or captain, or someone that it goes to from that point? If you recall, or if you know?
I wouldn't know.
So it'd be fair to say, once you type a report and submit it, you're not sure who sees it.
That's what he said.
Correct.
Would you say it's fair that because of you not knowing who your report is submitted to, that your report can be altered in some kind of way?
No.
Especially being that you don't know who sees it?
The locked report, stupid.
Reports are done via PDF style reporting. It's protected by my username and my password. And when it's submitted, it's usually not altered unless I request it to be altered.
But it is fair to say that there's a possibility that it could be tampered with because you don't know for sure who all sees it.
It's entirely inaccurate.
How so?
My report is accurate. My report is the way that it was written, the way that I wrote it myself.
So you've had a chance to read your submitted report after you submitted it?
Yes.
And to the best of your knowledge, is exactly word for word as you remember typing it?
It is my report. It is what I typed, and it is accurate.
Word for word?
Word for word?
Yes.
Word for word? Semantics. It's a narcissistic thing. Got to be his way.
Do you recall how many pages long the report was?
Objection, relevance.
Grounds.
Sustained. Not relevant.
I don't know what font are you typing it out in. Woo.
Do you recall if the report was lengthy?
Objection, relevance.
Grounds.
Sustained. Next question, please.
Grounds for the sustain.
Substain. Grounds for the substain. Stupid.
And you stated that you read the report after you submitted it. Do you know how long it was before you were able to see the report that you typed?
Objection, relevance.
Grounds.
Sustained.
Well, he already answered that.
Then I'll object as asked and answered, Your Honor.
Sustained.
Thank you.
That question wasn't answered, but okay. I see.
What do you see? What do you see, stupid? Now you gotta make comments.
Do you recall when you typed your report?
Objection, relevance.
Grounds.
Sustained. Not relevant.
How's that not relevant if he already answered that he typed the report?
Who cares when he typed it?
Please continue, sir.
Grounds for the sustain.
Relevant.
He answered that he typed the report. So how's it not relevant if he recalls when he typed it?
Please continue, sir.
Got to be kidding me.
Got to be kidding me. Got to be kidding me. Oh my God, here comes the tantrum. Here it comes. Buckle up.
Did you file any claim related to this matter?
No.
Do you know of anyone who did?
Did what?
Do you know of anyone who filed a claim in relation to this incident?
No.
Do you know who the plaintiff is in this incident?
Objection,
Grounds.
relevance.
You may answer that question. Go ahead.
Can you ask the question again?
Do you know who the plaintiff is in this incident?
Well, plaintiff would be the state of Wisconsin.
Is the state of Wisconsin a human being or an entity?
Objection,
Grounds.
argumentative.
Sustained. On relevance grounds.
Have you ever had any interaction with the plaintiff in this incident?
Objection.
Grounds.
Relevance.
Grounds.
Easily inaccurate.
Grounds.
Sustained as to the form of the question.
Were you ever contacted by the plaintiff in this incident?
Same objection.
Grounds.
Sustained as to the form of the question.
Would you call the state of Wisconsin a living, breathing human being or
Asked
entity?
and answered.
Grounds, because I didn't ask that question.
It's not relevant. Sustained. Next question.
It's very relevant. Seems like there's no plaintiff.
Jury will disregard statements made by
Come
the
on, man.
attorneys
Come on,
they,
man.
and
You're
the
trying to
parties.
be
They are
slick.
not evidence. Please
Stop
ask
trying to
a
be
question.
slick.
Wow.
So to your knowledge, the plaintiff is the state of Wisconsin. Do you see him present in the courtroom today?
Objection,
Grounds.
irrelevant.
Sustained.
Can you
relevance.
identify the plaintiff state of Wisconsin?
Same objection.
Grounds.
Sustained. Sir, please continue with, and not on this topic. Next question, please.
To the best of your knowledge, you're not even sure if you've ever even had any interaction with the plaintiff state of Wisconsin, correct?
Objection, argumentative, and compound.
Grounds.
Sustained.
Definitely wasn't compound. Would you consider yourself an injured party in this incident?
Objection,
Grounds.
argumentative.
The witness may answer.
No.
Have you read or seen the complaint?
No.
No further questions.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank
Any
you.
redirect?
No, thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. You may step down.
Didn't say anything
Detective
that
Rowe should be
meant
dismissed,
anything.
please. And yes, could we get the exhibit?
Yeah, why don't you grab that?
Because nothing he said meant anything. All right, like, subscribe, comment. I'll try to keep them coming pretty steadily if I can. I'm going to have my grandson over for the weekend, so I don't know. I'm going to try to do some outdoor things. Hopefully it won't be rainy and cold and crummy. See you later.